I would like to say something to all the people out there, like me, to the Africans and the poor, who are struggling with their dreams. Maybe you will watch this one day in the internet. I say to you, trust yourself and believe. Whatever happens, don't give up. Hello everyone, my name is Ruben Cabrera and I have just shared with you a quote from William Kamkwamba. If you do not know who William Kamkwamba is, he is a man who in his childhood, around the age of 14, created a windmill that produced water from air. And the reason why he created this windmill is because his family, his country, experienced a famine that led many people to die from hunger. A famine is when their country or food or community has a shortage of food. There is not a lot of food around for people to eat, so people may experience death from not eating. Around the age of 14, this boy William Kamkwamba experienced this. He's seen many people fight for food. He's seen the reactions that people made and the death of people and his pet dog that died because there was no food to spare since they were experiencing the famine. In this video, I will be sharing with you what I have learned from watching this movie, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. But before I do, I will be summarizing the movie. I know I summarized it a bit already, but I will summarize it more in detail so I can share with you the events that led to this creation. So let's get started. In the beginning of the movie, we have William and his family. They are farmers, and the majority of the people there are also farmers. They depend on farming to live. That is what their business is about. They use what they grow to feed themselves and to make profits, to earn money, to buy resources that they are in need of. The majority of the people are farmers there. And eventually they experience a time where no water comes from the sky, the lands are dry, and they are not able to grow crops. And William sees this and he knows it is a problem. Now before the land dries, William was attending school, and William was a child who was filled with curiosity. He actually enjoyed school. That's what made him happy. He would think about school and education. He would rather be in school than be out there with his father doing farming things. But due to the famine, due to food deprivation, his father was no longer able to provide the school, the payments needed for William to continue going. In other words, they didn't have the money for William to continue going to school, so he had to drop out. But since William was so determined and he was so passionate and curious about learning, and he felt like it was something he had to do, he was determined to go to school. He was determined to get his education. And around this time he realizes that his old teacher is dating his sister. And William approaches his teacher and tells him, "I will keep this secret if you allow me to continue my education." So what the teacher does, he allows him to study in the library. Quiet. That's my woof in the back. So, as I was saying, the teacher allows him to continue his studies. He allows him to go to the library. And in this library, William continues his education. He reads a variety of books. And then this is when the famine starts to happen. No rain comes, and at this time William realizes that there was a book that he once read in the library that allowed him to create a windmill that will produce water and electricity. And so he asked the teachers to let him in again to continue his studies. And eventually he creates a small model of a windmill and to see if it would work, and it does. It creates electricity, but he doesn't do this alone. He gathers a team of friends and he creates this. He is a really resourceful person. He uses what he has. In other words, he used whatever he could find. And he did so by going to his scrapyard. He went to the scrapyard and found all the materials he could use to create this, and he did. Out of the scrap materials, he created the windmill. Once he proved that he can create electricity with this, he decided to create the big one. Why the big one? Because the big one was going to produce water. The little one just produced electricity. And if he could produce water, the whole problem of famine will be solved. People will no longer suffer or die because of hunger. They were given a reason to live again because water means food. But it didn't come so easy to him. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to work, and his parents, his mom, thought he was crazy. And according to the movie, or as in the movie, we see that his father thought he was crazy, that this wasn't going to work, to get away with these ideas, that you're going to focus more on farming, that all these ideas are nonsense. And he rejected to help his son because his son was demanding his father's bicycle, but his father did not want to give his bike to his son because I believe to him it was something of value, of great importance. It is to like us a car to him, that bike in his environment. It was something useful, it was an asset, something of value, and he didn't want to throw something like that to the trash in his eyes. But to William, it was something that was going to help the family, the neighbors, the country to continue living. But he didn't have the eyes that his son had. He didn't have the education that his son had gathered in the library. To me, his father was someone who was limited in learning, somebody who was not a constant learning machine, somebody who stuck to the old ways, that was the way things were going to work. He was somebody that you might say not open-minded and willing to learn, and that is what led to him having an argument with his son, and maybe to the lifestyle that his family was going through. But eventually William was so determined that he convinced his father, because his mom got involved, and convinced his father, your ways have not been working. We have a boy here who has a strategy, another way of getting things done. Let's give it a try. And eventually his father agrees. He decides to give his son the bike, which is William, and they create this machine with a team. They gather other people, they gather other neighbors, they go to the scrapyard, they use the bike, and they create this windmill, and voila, the windmill produces water. And the whole country, the neighbors, the town, the house, they are happy because now they have food, and they never thought this would work. So this boy of around the age of 14 experiences. He experienced famine. He experienced how a group of people react when there is no food. He experienced death around him at this age, and he decided to move forward. He decided to believe in himself. He decided to use the knowledge that he has gathered from reading a book. So these are the lessons that I want to share with you. If you have a problem, maybe it's time for you to get a book. This is what this man did at the age of 14. By reading a book, by reading a variety of books, and eventually leading to one book, he got an idea and he tried it. Before he quit, he tried. Before he quit, he tried. Before he quit, he tried. It tried and it worked. because he read this in a book, because he provided himself with education, because he provided himself with another way of seeing things, because he knew something that other people didn't know, because he went a different route, because he chose to learn things that other people don't know. Because many of the people there were just so involved in farming, and that was the only way. They stuck to that. It doesn't mean that is a bad thing. What was bad is that they stopped learning, and that is what led to them experiencing the things that they experienced. So if his father was a constant learner, somebody who was not limited in his mind, somebody who was willing to learn, maybe they wouldn't experience this. But you know, it led William to do this. William could have given up just like the majority of the other people there, or try to move out of town, but he didn't. He decided to stay. He told himself he was not going to live this way, seeing his father and the land dry. He was determined. He took responsibility. He believed in himself. He adapted. He looked for new ways to solve the problem. I remember it was Einstein who said insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting different results. That definition to me describes his father, because his father in the movie was not really trying nothing new besides trying to tackle the government, you know, like trying to get the government to solve his problem. But he didn't try nothing in his farm, and William did. William used what he learned from these books. And another thing I learned is that he is resourceful. He used whatever he could find. He didn't go, you know, to the internet and buy all these tools. He went to the scrapyard and he used whatever he had. And to solve this problem, he did not do it alone. He had a team. He built a team to help him solve this problem. So first, if you have a problem, maybe it's time for you to learn from someone else. Learn from someone who has done it. Learn from a book. If you have a problem, find a book that can help you overcome the problem you're going to. And determine. You gotta be determined. But where does determination come from? It comes from deciding that you will no longer put up with the lifestyle that you have. That you're not gonna allow yourself to live this way. That you're going to do the best you can do. And another thing is to be resourceful, to find out whatever you have. To use whatever you have and be a constant learner. This is what I have learned from watching this movie. This movie is based on a true story. William Kamwaka is now a full-grown man, and he is continuing his education and continuing inventions, and he still continues to help his family and his neighbors and the country. I leave you again with his quote. I would like to say something to all the people out there. To the poor. I can't believe I forgot it. I would like to say something to all the people out there, like me, to the Africans and the poor, who are struggling with your dreams. God bless. Maybe one day you will watch this video in the internet. I say to you, trust yourself and believe, and whatever happens, don't give up. Trust yourself and believe, and whatever happens, don't give up. Thank you for watching. Share this video with somebody who might benefit from watching, or watch the movie, or watch this TEDx talk, how I harness the wind, and learn from himself, as he speaks to you, as he introduces what is occurring what occurred in his life and his speech, and hear the man give the speech himself. Thank you.